Mayday, I've got a situation in my balfouri Communal. Hello tarantula lovers, I'm Alex and you're watching Tarantula Haven. In a previous video I had done a rehousing of my balfouri Communal, and I rehoused them into this enclosure. And this enclosure is actually an aquarium that my daughter handed down to me that she had her beta in. And she didn't need it anymore, she got a better one, so I repurposed it to turn it into a vivarium or an enclosure for my tarantula communal. And it has holes in it where the air tubing and things like that go through, and where the filter goes. So I took some duct tape and I put that on the areas that had the holes in them. But little did I know that that was going to be a problem. So check out this little clip of what happened, and I'll come back to you and explain to you what's going to happen next. So I noticed my tarantula was at the top of the enclosure and it acted like it was struggling. So I checked, and sure enough, it had gotten stuck to the duct tape that was up there. And as you can see there, the flaps of duct tape had kind of come loose. It had lost a leg. I managed to pull it off and it went back into the enclosure, but it was walking funny. It was unstable. So I had to make sure that it was going to be okay. I didn't want them to feed on it if it was, if they noticed it was weaker or something like that. I don't know what would have happened if I'd have just left it in there, but I didn't want to take a chance. So I went ahead and pulled it out of its enclosure. And as you can see, it's still able to move. I don't know how long it had been in there, but it still was pretty active. So I felt fortunate that I had caught it when I did. So I set it up in a small box, and as you can see there, I put in a little watering dish and just dropped it in. It was doing fine for a good little while. It was eating and it webbed up the enclosure. So when I felt like it was doing okay, I figured I would just go ahead and reintroduce it. But I wasn't going to take the chance of putting it back into the enclosure with the duct tape, so that's why I decided to get a new enclosure for them. So as you saw in the clip, it could have been a whole lot worse. I was fortunate enough to catch it when I did. I keep my tarantulas close to me next to my computer, which is where I usually sit and spend a whole lot of time. So I'm constantly checking on them. So I ended up looking in there and I saw what had happened, and I reacted immediately. I didn't have the presence of mind to record the tarantula stuck to the duct tape, but I did record afterward after I'd gotten it free and put it into another enclosure. But it could have been a whole lot worse. So this has been a very hard lesson for me, but it turned out okay, but it could have been a whole lot worse. So repurposing this aquarium, especially with the duct tape, turned out to be really bad for me because obviously the humidity got up in here, maybe the heat in the house because it had been summer. So the tape just kind of came loose. I didn't have enough in there, so I put more tape on there and it's been holding, but I no longer trust it. So going the cheap route has ended up almost costing me a tarantula, which is, the price of it would have been about $50–60 just for the tarantula alone, which is way less than what this aquarium costs. So, sometimes it doesn't pay to go the cheap route when you are trying to make an enclosure for your tarantula. It's still not to say that you can't do this. If you're very sure of what you've done. Obviously, I'm not going to trust duct tape anymore, so I have to figure out another way that I can close this off to where that will not be a problem. Maybe I can take some plexiglass and stick it on here and seal up those holes differently, but right now this duct tape, I don't trust it. I'm not going to risk my tarantulas with it, so I am rehousing them again. So I am rehousing my tarantulas into this enclosure right here. And getting an enclosure for your tarantulas doesn't have to break the bank, especially if it's going to be a temporary enclosure. That's one of the things I love about keeping tarantulas, is that just about anything can be an enclosure, provided that you're careful, unlike what happened in my situation. This is actually not even an enclosure. This is a Hobby Lobby display case for a basketball or soccer ball, and I believe it costs about $21.99. So that's not real bad, especially for the size of it. It's actually makes a really good enclosure for tarantulas. And the acrylic case is very clear, so you can see and observe your tarantula. So I really like it, and I wish I had gone this route to begin with. As far as the holes and things like that, all I did was use a soldering iron, and I used a piece of painter's tape to run a straight line and just kind of eyeballed it as I went through. I didn't bother recording all that because you've seen that probably many times. Maybe in a future video I'll do another one, but I just wanted to go ahead and get the enclosure done so that I can get them out of there as soon as possible and into here. One of the cool things about it is that now that I'm rehousing them again, they have gained some size. I think they've doubled in size since I've put them into the old aquarium there. And so this gives them a little bit more room, although they're fine in there still. They're going to have more room so they can be in here a little bit longer. And I get to reshoot all of the webbing stuff. This time I'm going to wait a little bit before I actually start videoing that or recording that, because last time, if you remember, they didn't do a whole lot for the first few days until they settled in, and then after that is when they really started webbing up and making their web castle. So I get another opportunity to do that. So let's go ahead and get these guys rehoused. If you remember the last one, it wasn't an easy thing. So hopefully now that I've done it one time, I've already got that under my belt and I know what to expect, and I think I can do a better job with it this time. So hopefully it'll go much smoother this time around. Pull that lid off there. And it's a shame to have to break up their little web castle and everything, but they'll make a new one. It's amazing how much they web. Move that out of there. And this is the painful part here. Just tear it all up. All their hard work. Oh, and I see them there. They're right there pretty close to the surface. Need to get my light on this. There. Okay, so I need to get this decoration out of here, this little stick. Oh, there's a big one right there, ready to come out. I'm going to go ahead and open this just in case, because I see him right here. There you go. Come on, buddy. All right, so he went down, he or she. Now, they're pretty good for the most part about not darting out to start out with, because they will go deep down into their burrow before they come out. That's their first line of defense. All right, so here we go. Got the decoration out of there. Next part's getting rid of some of this webbing. And as you can see, if I hold that up like that, they have basically webbed all the way around this cork bark that is in there. So they've kind of made themselves a sack around the cork bark. So they're in there. I could just easily transfer this entire sack over and hopefully get them all in one shot, but that would be a pretty boring video, wouldn't it? So let's see what I can do here. I would hate to just pick them up and do that and have them drop out while I'm moving it. So let me do a little surgery here. All right, there's one. This one's out in the open. So since we have you out, let's go ahead and get you in there. All right, that worked out. Let's move that aside. Come on. All right, we got our first one. And I will move this one over here. There we go. Okay, let me move this aside. All right, our first little guy's in here, so let's go ahead and get him down. Come on. There you go. All right, and as you can see, it has gained quite a bit of size. And the legs are starting to get that characteristic blue. All right, so first one's over. All right, let's continue moving these. I realized my preamp was off, so hopefully I'll be able to get the sound from my camcorder. If not, I'll figure out what to do, but I may have lost the sound on what I just did a little while ago. Okay, so anyway, I am going to go ahead and start to move some of this again. There's an old molt. Okay. All right, and there's the cork bark I was talking about. There's another molt. Oh, I see one coming out. Okay, time to put that down. Let's see if we can get him. All right, so we got him trapped under there. Now to move him over. Ooh. Yeah, these guys are so bolty. Yeah, he wants to come straight up. All right, let's see what I can do here. I need you to get down. There we go. Woo. They shoot right for any crack or crevice that they can find. All Hopefully we can keep you over there while I move this guy. All right, so we got him there. All right, let's move this. And try this again. All right, he went straight down. Nope, he's coming right back up. Come on, go down. Stay down. There we go. All right, so we got number 2 in here. They're both creeping up the side there. It's hard to see. I got too much glare going on here. There we go. All right, so we got 2 in there. Hopefully we can get the rest with no problem. All right, so 2 over. Need my catch cup. Let's go back to moving this. And I see 2 huddled up right here. Yep, there they are. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. See if we can get 2 at a time. Nope. Whew, so fast. All right, it's catch cup time. Always happens. Let's put this up so we don't have any more escape. And let's see if we can get him into a catch cup. All right, so he literally made a break for it, and I had to chase him, but I got him in this little catch cup here, deli cup. So I'm gonna go ahead and put him in here. I need the deli cup because if another one runs, then I'm gonna have to use it again. So I'll move this aside and bring this over. So what I'll do is I'll put the whole deli cup in there, and hopefully we can just pull it out and he will be fine. It's easier said than done when you got another one in there trying to escape. All right, so he's in. Let's just coax him out of there. There we go. Nope. Ran right back up. Seriously, little guy? There we go. All right. So he can join his brothers and sisters there. And I'll pull this out. No, don't do that. Okay. All right. 3 in. Close that back up. Just goes to show it is never an easy task when it comes to these guys. You can be as prepared as you want, but they will give you a run for your money every single time. All right, we got another one just sitting out in the open there. So I'm going to try to use the catch cup on them. All right, I see the problem. The problem is I've got this cork bark right here that's blocking me. So I'm going to pull that out. All right. That should make it a whole lot easier. Now we can try this again. Yep, there we go. Oops. Need my stick. All right, little guy. There we go. That one ran right up for us. Look at that. It's got his legs sticking out of there. Any little crevice. Remember I said they were like the velociraptors and always looking for any weakness in the defenses? There you go. Come on, y'all go over that side. Okay. So now we're going to put number 4 over there. Come on. There we go. Okay. Go down, go down. All right. Number 4. Let's close this lid. And we're good. All right. Now number 5. Pull this back. All right. Don't know if you can see it, but he's right there. Okay, pull that out. Boom. And we got him. Okay, so that worked well. Let's go ahead and put him in there. Come on, go up. There you go. Once you get them in the bottle, they're pretty easy to get over because they want to go straight up. Okay, so I'm going to move this aside. Bring this over because I think I missed a shot on the last one. And this is going to be a little bit of a problem because I've got everybody up top wanting to get out. So, move this aside. See if I can get him to go down. Go that way. Nope, not up. Go that way. All right. If I can get him, keep him on that side, I'll be good. Okay, and we'll move this over here. Oh, he just dropped right down and made it easy for me. Thank you so much. Okay, so I've got 5 in here. Now, the reason also that I wanted to go ahead and move them is so that I can reintroduce the injured tarantula. I believe he's getting ready to molt, so he's in his own enclosure, but it's always best, I guess, with the communals to put them back together so that, or when they haven't reestablished themselves yet, so that they can establish themselves together. If they have their little territories and they've all webbed everything up and you put in a new one, then you might have some issues. Now, I don't have any proof to back that up. This is just from talking to other people and asking people, and a lot of them will suggest that if you do a rehousing, make sure, if you're going to reintroduce one or if you're going to introduce new ones, then make sure you do it after a rehousing when everybody is out of their element, so that they don't have their little established territories and might not take in a newcomer. So in this case, it's not a newcomer, but he's been removed. Now he's being reintroduced. Okay, so this is the little guy that got injured, and it is the smallest of the group. All of these seem to have grown a whole lot more, and this one seems to have stayed small. So it obviously doesn't have anything to do with it getting trapped, but it's just, I guess, coincidental. They're just, some of them tend to grow a little bit faster than others. This one just happens to be the small one of the group. So as you can tell, he has really webbed up all by himself in his new enclosure there. And he still kind of walks a little bit funny. And hopefully he'll molt pretty soon so he can get his leg back. But there it is right there. If you can see it right about there. All right. And he looks none the worse for wear. He's obviously eating and webbing himself up and everything. So I think he's pretty good to go back into the group. And that's what I'm going to do. So let's see if I can use this. If not, then I'm going to have to figure something else out. Okay, I got it in there. Come on. There we go. He's in there. Now, I just need to be able to get him to go up the side, which he may not in his injured condition, so we'll see. Come on, come up. All right, he's just kind of circling around the bottom, so I think he may not be able to get up very well. Yeah, I think his little feet can't grip. So maybe if I turn it on its side a little bit, poke upward. There we go. I can get him to go up that way. Come on, there we go. Get this off of here. All right. Okay, well, this is not ideal. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I see where he's missing. He's missing his leg on the, it's the first actual leg after the palp on the right side. You can probably see it right there. All right, so let's see if we can get him over. And this is going to be kind of awkward. So set this down real quick. Hopefully he won't make a run for it. And I'm going to pan back so we can see the whole enclosure. I'm losing light, battery's dying. Okay. And hopefully, because of his leg and because I think he lost some padding on the bottom of his feet, so I think because of all that, he's not able to grip as well. So this might be an easy transfer. I can just drop him in. So let's move this over, and everybody runs. Okay, so here we go. Take him. Put him in the opening, and he hopefully will slide right down. Yep, he sure did. Okay, and you can see that this guy is a lot smaller than his siblings. So hopefully now they'll redo their enclosure and everything will be back to normal and he can molt and get his leg back and get everything fixed back up. All right. They are a handful. So for anyone wanting to get into a Monocentropus balfouri Communal, they are great. They are fun. It's interesting to watch their behaviors, but rehousings, they will give you a run for your money. They are a handful. They, as you can see, they just kind of want to take off, and they go and go. So you got to be on your toes and you got to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to end up with one of them running off and hiding somewhere and maybe losing it. So you got to be real careful. Interesting thing, when this did happen, of course, I was more vigilant of my tarantulas, and I actually turned the enclosure around so I can see the backside. And I managed to capture something that I haven't seen. I don't know if I've seen it at all on YouTube, but I did catch one of my Monocentropus balfouri molting. And I went ahead and recorded that, and I saw something kind of weird, something interesting that happened at the end of the molting that I haven't really seen any other tarantulas do. So take a look at this and I'll come back and we'll wrap this up. So I hope you enjoyed that molting time lapse. It was really interesting to see that one was molting and there was another one nearby, and it kind of moved around, investigated a little bit, but then it moved off on its own and left the other one to molt. I don't know if you noticed it, but at the end there, it was really weird, because after the tarantula flipped over, it almost looked like it went and attacked its molt, and it just kind of went over there and started messing around with it. I really don't know what it was doing. I don't think that tarantulas eat their own molts, so it was just kind of a weird behavior that I don't think I've ever seen in any other tarantulas. I know some tarantulas will go in there and destroy their own molt, so I'm not sure if that's what I was watching, but I do know that when they molt, I never see them kick out their molts from their burrows. As you noticed while I was rehousing and I'm opening up the web that they created, there's molts inside there. So I have to pull those molts out, but I never actually get molts kicked out of the of their burrows, which is usually typical behavior for a lot of tarantulas. When they molt, they'll be in there for a little while. Next thing you know, they'll kick out their molt, and you'll find it on the outside of their burrow or of their cork tube or anything like that. So just interesting stuff. I never get enough of watching the behavior of the Monocentropus balfouri in their communals. All right, so that's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a like. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, I do have a Redbubble store where I sell Tarantula Haven merchandise. Any of the proceeds from the Redbubble store will go directly to help grow and support this channel. Until next time, keep loving them tarantulas.